The second section of the 2020 report talks about the demand for personalization and customized experiences to the individual level. And it talks about Amazon and Netflix as being two examples of companies that do this particularly well. But my question is, how do you do this if you're Coca-Cola or you sell chicken sandwiches or with cable TV, or you're a retailer? How do you customize an experience for them with a product like Coke, Julie?
Yeah, I mean, it's challenging. I mean, I'll be honest, I don't know that I have a great answer. You know, for us, we don't have the direct access to our sales data, and so many retailers are using sales data to market to their consumers in a very personalized, precise way. And so for us, you know, we have to do kind of a lot of inferring around brand preferences, passion points, you know, types of households that you're in to really understand how we market to you and talk to you very specifically. But for us, it's definitely about kind of personal interest and what we call passion points. So are you in entertainment or sports marketing? And how do we serve you customized content based on what we know about what you like?
I'll jump in. Just Chick-fil-A is a pretty simple business. It's chicken sandwiches and served by teenagers and lots of locations. So it's not that complicated. But they're very nice teenagers, though. Well, what we see, and that's part of our play. What we see is that most of our customer experience challenges are around too much demand. So when you get to that store and you see a huge drive-through line, you kind of, or you walk inside the store and there's a huge mosh pit there of people trying to get to the front counter. So we think that our best play to personalize, we'll adapt the product, we'll make the sandwich custom for you however you want it, but our best play for personalization is around service and taking some of that angst away from you. So one story there is we had moms, we were doing some ethnography, we saw moms coming through, they go through the drive-through, order and pay and get their food, and they'd park, and then they walked inside with the food. And we asked, why are you doing that? And they said, well, we hate your front counter. My kids are running crazy, your front counter is chaos, I'm in a hurry, I make a bad choice, I regret it the rest of the day. So one operator created an option for moms called Mom's Valet. So mom comes to the drive-through, and she orders and pays and gets a number and parks, and she comes inside, her table set with high chairs pulled up, the food's there, the flowers are there. It's like a nice experience for mom. So that's old school. There's no technology involved there, but to think a little further on taking some of this mobility apps, what if mom could pre-order using her smartphone before she got there or before she left home even, and have it ready for her and check in when she got there with some sort of check-in app or some sort of location-based service and have it ready for her. That could work in a lot of different settings. That could work in urban, that could work in suburban, that could work for dinner. So we're playing with mobility apps to get the experience extended beyond the restaurant and let you order your usual, just how you want it, very easily without having to go through that whole experience at the front counter or the speaker box.
So I think personalization will allow our kind of commoditized products to become much more sticky. And so anyone watch Monday Night Football last night? The Packers, it was a blowout. I actually used to live in Green Bay, so I have to root for the Packers. But imagine that while you're watching Monday Night Football on ESPN, you can, your app tells you that 5 of your buddies are also watching, and one of them is silly enough to root for Minnesota, and so you can talk trash a little bit, whether it's on your phone, your iPad, or through your television. So, you know, I think social media will integrate with TV, and it will be one of those things that really changes both TV and social.
Good. Want to add anything? Okay. The third section of the 2020 report talks about the skill set changes that are going to be needed in marketing to a degree, and indicates that they're going to look dramatically different over the next decade. So I guess I'll ask all of you, maybe I'll start with Kathy if you have an answer. What advice do you have for AMA members on what they need to do to develop the skill sets required for success in 2020?
As a person who started as a receptionist in an ad agency, working on a typewriter, I know, a typewriter, imagine, remember those? I do think that one of the things that Google looks for in someone is the ability to be flexible. And it's not a hard skill, and you can't say, here, look at this, I did this, I was flexible. But the reality is the world is changing incredibly fast, and all of the tools that we work with are changing very fast. And we were talking about it before lunch. When you work at Google, you find out about the new tools the same time your clients find out about them. And you have to learn very quickly, and you have to adapt very quickly. And those are the kinds of skills and soft skills that we really appreciate in people. It's not so much knowing how to work a mean spreadsheet or being able to work those macros. It's not so much about being absolutely perfect at anything, because the reality is, as we evolve, perfection becomes actually, a detriment to your success, not necessarily something that's going to help you rise to the next level. It's the ability to constantly be thinking and learning, being flexible, and being willing to learn new things that really makes you a success at a company like Google.
I would tell you, this sounds so obvious, but I didn't grow up in digital. I'm kind of old school marketing at Coke, and I kind of happened to fall into digital, not by purpose. But if you don't have digital experience, you should get it. It is the way that we are going to continue to market. And what I think the understanding of kind of technology and marketing and that convergence is becoming so critical to understand how we're going to reach consumers. And if you understanding kind of how technology works is very, very important. And I know we're looking, we can't find enough people in the marketplace that have that discipline and have that skill set that really understand digital marketing, but then also understand the technology and how that merges with traditional marketing as well.
I think that's right. I think I think you need to befriend a geek. I think that everyone should, as a marketer, you want to be a lifelong learner, right? And you want to. You might have got into marketing because of the creative side, but our advertising is pre-tested twice before it sees a consumer. So there's got to be this marriage of art and science, and I think digital is where it's all going, and so don't be afraid of technology. Get in there, even if you feel like you're a quote-unquote creative. You've got to keep up with what's happening.
Go ahead, Jeff.
I would say become an amazing collaborator. One of the things we hire for at Engage is people who collaborate really, really well. If you collaborate well, you're open to new ideas, you team well with people, and we talk about convergence and where everything's moving and everything's going to be blended. And if you're not good at collaborating, and not everybody is, you're not going to be successful. That would be one of the #1 things I'd look for in somebody.
I think we've got to start with the #1 prerequisite for a good marketer is to have some Georgia State classes, right, Ken?
Go Panthers.
Yeah, I agree with all that's been said. I think that marketing at Chick-fil-A has been a lot of intuition, a lot of great intuition, to pick things like the cow campaign and pick things like the food products we've done. What's happening now is we're getting data that Julie talked about, and the data is bringing a whole new dimension to the decision making. So you can begin to use some analytics in there with intuition. So we're still probably 80-20, 80% on the intuition side, but we're trying to grow the analytics piece of it to help with that. And I think what happens, since I've come to marketing, I've seen that we're the ones that see the future first in a lot of cases, and we try to convince a very successful operation to change and try to get them to change, whether it's a new menu item or new packaging. Right now we're facing pressure on the styrofoam cup. It needs to go away. The customers love it, and operators love it, and it's cheap. And so it's really hard to change that cup. But the future is sustainability, right? And we can't keep that cup around forever. So we see that first, and we have to convince people of that future that's coming, make that future be believable, and explain to them why the past is not an option. And that's a challenge of collaboration and salesmanship, frankly, and good intuition and good data. So it's the see the future, help shape the future, help bring the future to happen, and that's what the marketer needs to be doing.
Yeah, John's got a great story. John worked for Accenture for a number of years and then went to work for his client, Chick-fil-A, where he's been for 19 years. But he's been in IT for, I guess, about 18 of those 19 years. And a year ago decided that to bring technology into marketing, he would move into marketing. And what'd you do to learn marketing?
Well, Ken recruited me into the very first year of this fast-track Masters in Marketing at Georgia State, which I'm about to finish, thank goodness. So that's coming up. That's been the past 12 months of schooling at Georgia State.
The point of that isn't to pitch Georgia State.
Is that what you wanted, Ken? Is that what you,
The point of it is to say that if you're a marketer and know marketing, what are you doing to learn IT? That's the point of that.
Definitely.
John maintained, he knew more than he said he did, but he decided to learn marketing and took courses to do it. So that's the point. What are you doing to refresh yourself in the areas you need to know but may not have much background?